Kev, another story I thought of you when I read that The Rock is now on the board for TKO.
Yes. And
the
we can
parent
actually say
company.
The Rock because he got the rights to The
The
Rock
trademark, right?
as part of the agreement.
Mm-hmm. He no dummy.
Nope.
I don't know why I turned it to Tony Atlas all of a sudden, but so Kev, why not Kevin Nash on the board? Why not a board seat for Kevin Nash? I was thinking about the guys. Who would I choose if I was Ari and I needed to put together? Now, Ari, I need some help with the wrestling product. I need some guys that know business, but know the wrestling product.
I'm picking The Rock over me.
Well, it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. You could both be on the board.
I don't want.
You have an advantage over Dwayne. I'm going to tell you. You have an advantage. You're both wrestlers. You both worked on top.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give
a fuck.
You're gonna have to pretend you give a fuck if you're gonna sit on the board.
That's what I mean. I know. That is. I try to explain this to people. That is a commitment, and the last thing I want in my life is. I know. It's just I have no. You know what? God bless Dwayne, and I think he got $30 million in stock options, and he got his name, but he also, with that comes everything else.
Well, I mean, a board seat, you're kind of in the catbird seat, right? You're making decisions. You're not in the trenches. It's not like you're hoofing at the television.
But now, from a standpoint of WrestleMania, is it actually fair for somebody in the board to be going after the world title? Huh?
We
are
really suspending disbelief this week.
In a sports entertainment, I think he can have the ones up on Roman Reigns now.
You worked television and wrote television during the boom period for both companies. That's like having been on top in PepsiCo and in Coca-Cola. That's the guy I want on my board. That saw both sides of the cola wars, as Billy Joel called.
Well,
in that terrible song.
I look at that. I am so impressed. I'm at a point in my life now where professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, I'm way more interested in the Netflix deal and how they work the intricacies in that situation. Is it 3 hours? Are there going to be commercial breaks? Are there not going to be commercial breaks? Like those specifics and those things are way more thought-provoking than whether or not who's going to go over at the Royal Rumble.
And if you're on the board, you're not worried about who's going over. You're worried about the big picture stuff that you're talking about. Yeah.
But I mean, but I want to do it. I don't want to own the Lions. I don't want to own the Lions. But I definitely want to, sit home Sunday and watch the game.
Who else? I was wondering who you would choose. Who else would be a good board member? I think Bischoff.
I mean, they took Paul off of it. Like Triple H, like how the fuck is? I mean,
but Paul wanted to be in the trenches and creative, right? I mean, when you're sitting on the board, you're
but
he's decision making for the direction of a company.
He's still so. He's still so intertwined in every fucking thing that they do, because it's like you run the assembly for Ford Motor Company. You're in charge of all the assembly of all the automobiles. And it's just like, how do you not be a member of the board? Because you're the one that's building the product that we're selling.
Well, I don't know specifically the answer to that question, but I can tell you if I loved the line and I loved the design of the cars and I loved the feel of even if I'm just a supervisor and I'm not standing there on the line, but I'm going down and I'm in with the people that are touching the metal every day. That's what I wouldn't be passionate about what partnership Ford should enter into in the NHL to put their logo at center ice. I wouldn't care about that, I don't think. I would want to be down. And so maybe Paul doesn't care about the big picture stuff and the crossing the I's and crossing the T's, dotting the I's.
Yeah, well, I think also with with 3 daughters and one getting ready to go to college, and I think that not to speak for Paul, but I know how much he loves his daughters and how much he loves his family, and I know that he doesn't need any more. Because I remember when he took like 10 days off and they went up to New Hampshire and they were all at the lake, and I remember talking to him and just like you could almost sense that he wasn't going to be one of those guys that was going to work till he died. Like
he valued time away from.
Yes.
Okay.
See, Dwayne is just Dwayne's a different human being. Dwayne is he's so fucking driven. And I mean, I tip my hat to somebody, but man, like I said, there's never been a day in my life when I look in the mirror and I want to be anybody but that motherfucker I'm looking at. Because, man, I like that fucking guy's mojo. He don't give a fuck. If he don't feel like doing it, he ain't doing it. Like, I dig that. As Steve and I used to say, Steve Austin, dig it the most. I dig that the most.
So who else could have done it? Who else could have? Bischoff, right?
Eric
Bischoff.
Eric would be very. Eric
he's a big picture guy. He could definitely. Yeah. Todd Gordon built ECW from scratch and had a Philadelphia institution, which he still runs today in Carver Reed, the jewelry institution of in Central Philly. So he runs that institution, and he ran an institution called ECW. I think Todd Gordon knows both things.
I think, though,
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman. I think Corey Feldman just is.
Many forms of entertainment. He was a musician. He was an actor. Probably a wrestling fan.
Yes, at least a Michael Jackson fan. I just look at it and I say that that world is like. I remember it was maybe 4 months ago when somebody, I don't know if it was Nick or Ari or whoever it was, that they were talking about that Time Warner deal, and it was we're kind of outgrowing cable,